Sweet. All right, cool. Hello. Welcome to the Yeti Den. We have a new episode of our podcast called Tactically Sound with my good friend Jumby Jumbla. And today, it's, as of recording, it's the day of the Fallout premiere. It comes out in a couple hours. I'm planning on watching on Saturday, but I might have to watch at least the first episode today. I want to just binge it on Saturday. Are you, Matt, gonna watch today? Like, are you gonna binge the whole thing?
Well, I've been watching some news on it, some of the reviews. I saw Mr. Maddie's review of it, and he's really hyped with what he's seeing. He's actually very hopeful. And I'm kind of piggybacking on that. I'm super excited to check it out. I think I will check it out today. How could I not? From what I've seen already online, it's actually looking like it could be good. Like what we were talking about, the perfect amount of quirkiness with serious and blended well in a way that feels awesome and interesting, like that first season of Westworld. So yeah, I'm totally gonna watch at least the first episode today. I don't know, are they dropping all of them at once, or is it one episode at a time? Do you know?
Yeah, I think they're dropping all the episodes. So I have a few details here. Our sources are space.com and Forbes, and so I put together just some basic bullet points from their articles. Basically, there was a big Los Angeles premiere. I think that was yesterday. And the streaming Fallout release date is April 10th at 6 p.m. And then it's 8 episodes for season 1. There's rumors that season 2 is already approved.
No way.
The cast is Ella Purnell, Aaron Moten, Walton Goggins, Moises Arias, Johnny Pemberton, and Kyle MacLachlan. So they also said that there's a live global fan premiere at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Prime Video, April 10th. And the quote is, where fans worldwide can choose their faction and interact with others via a live chat function filled with surprises. So I was going to try and check that out if I can today and see what that looks like. But also Brian Fargo, Brian was the head of, let's see if I can get the name right. Okay, so his current studio is called In Exile, and they do Wasteland. Brian, in like 1980 something, created, I want to say 87, 88, created Wasteland, which is kind of the thing that started a lot of this. And then he created his company, something happened with his company. He started a new company, and that company is it was Interplay. And Tim Cain, who was the developer of Fallout, was tasked with the job of creating a new post-apocalyptic series for Interplay because they couldn't get the rights to Brian Fargo's Wasteland. So Leonard Boyarsky and Tim Cain, who you might know as the directors of The Outer Worlds, they did Fallout 1. And then they left during Fallout 2. And Brian Fargo kind of took more in charge of Fallout 2. And then eventually Interplay closed and they sold the rights to Bethesda. Now, Tim Cain is kind of working with Obsidian a little bit, mostly as a consultant, but Obsidian's under Microsoft, Bethesda's under Microsoft, and In Exile is under Microsoft. So everyone's kind of hoping that there could be some kind of Fallout 1 remake, Fallout 2 remake, or remasters. So everyone's always kind of pestering Emil Pagliarulo, who's one of the main design directors at Bethesda. Like, oh, where's Tim Cain? Are you guys friends with Tim Cain? So finally they were able to take a picture with Tim Cain, Brian Fargo, Todd Howard, and Emil. And so that was kind of like the first time that we've really seen the Fallout Council together. It was at this LA premiere. And so that's making like fans really happy because they want to see more of a tie-in of the roots of Fallout in the 90s as like a CRPG, isometric kind of hardcore RPG with more of an immersive third person, first person, like action RPG. So Brian Fargo tweeted, Fallout 4 of us, Tim Cain, Todd Howard, Desinu, which is Emil's tag, and myself, of course. And then Emil responded, or kind of to fans, yes, Tim Cain is the coolest guy ever, if you were ever wondering. And Tim Cain has a really cool YouTube channel if you guys like Fallout, but just like design and the history of kind of like the Fallout development and the developers. Highly recommend it. But yeah, that's pretty much the news for this Fallout LA. I mean, I think it's interesting and kind of cool that to see Fallout in LA because that's where it's based out of. So seeing all these people come out to LA, obviously that's our backyard. We are two Southern Californians. So it's pretty cool that, we're going to see what LA looks like in the Fallout universe. Because that's my understanding is that that's what the show is going to be unpacking is West Coast LA, right?
Right. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with all that, how it's going to compare to, what we know from New Vegas and things like that. Remember how we were talking about that in the couple podcasts ago where I just kind of, I as a kid, I blend everything together and we were talking about, we'll see what they do because, they're not necessarily having the obsidian involved, with it. So yeah, I'm excited though.
So we'll have lots to talk about next week, and this episode will be a shorter episode because we want to be able to get this live, and then Matt and I have a season of Fallout to watch, so we could talk about it next week. So I think we got to do next week as a spoiler cast, right? We got to just kind of like set the whole episode up as. Oh yeah,
like, we should definitely dissect it.
That way we could just dissect it. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll do that. So tune in next week for a spoiler cast of Tactically Sound. So moving on to the next kind of big thing that happened this week is the Triple I Interactive. So I was super stoked for this. I was really looking forward to this event because if you guys have watched the show, I'm a really big Vampire Survivors fan, and Punkle is a developer, and they've created like this triple indie kind of consortium of developers with the developers of Darkest Dungeon, Slay the Spire, Dead Cells. I saw, there's developers from Moonlighter. So I thought it'd be fun to go through some of the announcements that they put out. I'm a huge indie game fan, and I think that is in large part due to the Switch, but also Game Pass and also Steam. So we'll kind of talk about the games as they come through this list, but I tried my best to organize it. So we'll start with the DLC announcements. So Vampire Survivors is doing a crossover with Konami. Konami is the publisher of Castlevania, and Vampire Survivors, if you've ever played it, looks a lot like a Castlevania game. So it's cool to see Konami doing these collabs because they did a collab with Dead Cells as well to do Return of Castlevania. So I like that they recognize those who are influenced by Castlevania and are like, cool, let's do some DLC, let's do some integration crossover for these indies. So this crossover is with Contra. So I've never really played a Contra game. This will probably be my first interaction with Contra, but I thought it looks pretty cool. It's called Operation Guns DLC. And they say on Steam that they essentially went way harder than they anticipated, like in integrating it. And in the trailer, Vampire Survivors kind of looks like a Diablo, like top down, but they were doing some side scrolling stuff, which really caught my eye. And
Total Contra, though, also, right there. Side scroll, yeah.
And if you guys play Vampire Survivors, please help me understand the bonus levels, because there's a couple, and I don't want to have to Google it, but I'm going to have to become like Mo and like read the wikis and get an understanding of what I'm supposed to do. But yeah, this Contra update, I don't know if it's gonna be like the bonus levels or what, but I'm gonna play it for sure. It looks sick. There's like side scrolling kind of action. And let's see, they said, are you a bad enough survivor to save the president's cousin's sister's dog from the traitors squadrons of Red Falcon? Join Contra Force and stride into a doomsday extravaganza in Vampire Survivors Operation Guns. So classic characters. There's going to be, let's see, what else do they say? So Bill Reiser, Lance Bean, Ariana, Lucia, Brad Fang, Brownie, Sheena Etranzi, and Probector. 22 new fully automatic weapons. Galuga and beyond, run and gun through multiple mayhem-filled biomes inspired by classic Contra levels. It's really cool. And then new tracks. The music of Vampire Survivors is really sick. Matt, when are you going to finally play Vampire Survivors?
Dude, I gotta do it soon. I keep saying that every week because I like Kingdom.
Your birthday in August?
Yes, my birthday's in August.
Birthday in August? Maybe yes. Okay, if you don't buy it by then, I'll buy you Vampire Survivors for your birthday.
Yeah, okay, do it.
So you have till August, till there's absolutely no excuse.
Okay, fine.
Moving on to the next DLC is The Last Spell. So this is a game that I have on Switch, but here's the thing, like sometimes like I'll get a game on Switch because I could get it physically. But then I kind of wonder, I'm like, ooh, this might have been better on mouse and keyboard. And Last Spell is one of those. I think, Matt, you would get into this game, but I think mainly on Steam. Because on the Switch, it just doesn't feel super intuitive yet. At least I'm really early, so maybe I just need to like commit more. But some Steam indie games translate really well on the Switch, and you feel like you're not losing much. Right. Others, I kind of feel like you need to first play on Steam, so where you know what's going on, and then you could translate it to like thumbsticks and like the menus because you kind of already know what you're looking for. But to learn a game like Last Spell, so far, it's a little tricky on the Switch. So I might keep an eye on it for a Steam sale, or I might just wait till I have more time to like properly learn the mechanics. But they have a new update, and I thought you might like this, Matt. It's called Dwarves of Runenburg, and the art style is really cool. I'm
looking at a picture of it right now that you got there. It looks pretty darn awesome. I need to check this one out.
Yeah, I'll put the Steam link in there so you can like also check out the some of the stuff they have. But so this says Dwarves of Runenburg is the first DLC for the acclaimed roguelite tactical RPG The Last Spell. This DLC brings additional systems into the game, enriching replayability by introducing a new race system featuring dwarves, unveiling a fresh new map centered around the mysterious haven of Runenburg, and introducing a new arsenal of weapons and items with unique perks. So yeah, this is like a top-down kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a tower defense kind of. I would say tower defense with rhythm, metal music, and stuff like that. So keep your eye out on Last Spell. V Rising is another, I want to say Diablo-like, that came out, I want to say last year, 2022, so 2 years ago. But they have a DLC that has Castlevania as well. So again, going back to Castlevania loving the III group of developers. So this one, if you like Castlevania and you like Diablo-like games, do that. Another one, Death Must Die. This is, again, similar to Vampire Survivors, like top-down, Diablo-like, fast-paced action. This one's actually in early access, which I don't know, Matt. Are you an early access player? Like, have you played any games in early access before?
Well, I have a couple of games, but the one that I most recently got was Baldur's Gate 3, actually. I had that for years before that released. And that's where Jumpy Jumbo originated, actually, was from that game, making a character in Baldur's Gate 3 early access. So yeah, I totally think early access is great, especially if you are really excited for the game and title. It's fun to be part of that community that is developing an opinion for the game, where the developers start looking at what you guys are saying so that they can make the game better, more well received when it comes out. So yeah, I like it. Death Must Die though caught my eye. It was kind of like Hades a little bit, I noticed.
Yes. Yeah.
That was interesting, because I do really like Hades as a roguelite. So what did you think about Death Must Die?
Yeah, I need to try it. It's $6 on Steam, so there's really like no excuse for me. But I don't play a lot on the mouse and keyboard. That's like the thing. It's like I have a huge Steam backlog, and I don't really play it because I'm waiting for a Steam Deck to where I could play stuff handheld. And then my other problem is Steam is really hard to capture gameplay footage, at least for me with OBS. So that's why I kind of lean towards consoles, because it's easier for me to capture the footage. And when I play, I just have this guilt if I'm not capturing footage, because I'm like, one day I'm going to edit this and I'm going to think maybe I have that one scene where like I interacted with the merchant or whatever. And if it's not there, it's going to kill me. So Death Must Die hopefully comes to Xbox or Switch or something where I can easily capture it. Or I just need to figure out how to capture games on OBS.
I'm opposite. I'm opposite from you. Like, I know how to capture, games on OBS on my PC, but I haven't still figured out how to do it with my capture card with my PlayStation yet. So
we'll have to give each other tutorials.
Yeah, and then just like, how do you keep things set up and organized so it's like convenient to record,
Yeah, totally. No, I absolutely know that struggle. Did you ever play this deck builder roguelike Slay the Spire? It was a pretty popular indie. I want to say it came out in like 2018. Let me see. Did you ever play that game?
I've always wanted to, because I'm into like card games. Gwent, Queen's Blood in the new Final Fantasy game. I like this kind of gameplay. Especially when it's paired with fantasy. So that I really got to try this. I haven't gotten around to it, but this is definitely on my backlog, like my list. So have you played this one yet? Do you play are you drawn to these kind of games like Gwent and things like that?
Yeah, I love them. Definitely in my backlog. I have Slay the Spire on the Switch. But yeah, it's in the endless backlog. But Slay the Spire 2 looks pretty sick, and I love the art. So it's like, yeah, it's all of these games. It's kind of like music now, where there's so much music to listen to. It's overwhelming, and it's like there's so many amazing indie games, so many amazing AAA games, so many amazing JRPGs that I don't know how to face the onslaught of like games that I want to play. Like I almost have to like schedule game time,
right?
Because the weeks fly by, and I'm like, oh man, all I had time was for like Diablo 4, and then but there's so many games that I want to play. So this is on the list. Yeah. This one I thought of you because you've talked about this on the channel, and that's Undermine, but this is Undermine 2. Now, Am I confusing this with the game that you play? I think I am. You play a different game that looks like Undermine. Which one is it?
I play what is it called? I think it's like Coral I can't remember. Gosh, I sent it to you though. It's been so long. Core Keeper. There you go. I play Core. Are you thinking of Core Keeper?
I think so. Yeah, this looks like Core Keeper. Yeah, they say delve back into the heart-pounding depths of the Undermine in this action roguelike sequel. Uncover ancient secrets, battle fierce foes, and conquer Delvamore Castle with a friend by your side. So it looks like a cute dungeon diver roguelike. So yeah, check that one out if you're a fan like Matt of Core Keeper. Different games though. But I think this one has co-op, which is what you said about Core Keeper, right?
Core Keeper is sort of well, it's multiplayer. So like last time I was playing this was like with a couple friends, and it's kind of a little bit of a farming exploration simulator, a little bit like what I was doing in Return to Moria, but pixel art version of that where you're exploring the mines, but this time the Core Keeper universe instead of Return to Moria and the Mines of Moria. But yeah, it's that sort of survival esque kind of game. This one looks like I think if I remember from the first Undermine, it's more of a 2D platformer. If unless I'm thinking of a different game.
2. Let's see here. Undermine 2 is. It looks top down.
Oh, okay. Thinking of something else then.
Yeah, it looks really cool. Like I'll put it in there. I really like the art style. It's like got a lot of cool.
Yeah, what I'm looking at looks fun.
And the
enemies are cute.
Yeah. Darkest Dungeon 2. Did you play the first Darkest Dungeon? This is again a roguelike. I did play this one. Not very good at it, but it reminds me of one of my favorite indies, Dredge. It has that like somber piano. I call it whale punk. Like it's like men with grizzled beards and like shadows under their eyes and scars, and like everyone looks really comic booky and like always graphic. Sullen. Like you're not going to see anyone smiling. I love that type of world. Yes. So they basically rebuilt it. And so it's like the same game, but not. I was reading the comments, and so I don't want to say too much because I haven't tried it. I think it's in early access, or is it out now? That's what I don't quite understand. Let's see. No, it looks like it's out now. So they announced, I believe, DLC, new free game mode called Kingdoms. Let's see what they say about that.
Oh, this is the one that looks like a little bit that dark gritty version of Unicorn Overlord, that kind of concept.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah, totally. That like Vanillaware kind of like dimensional thing. Yeah,
right. That's cool.
The other game is Kill Knight. Now this one I believe was a world premiere. I don't think we've seen anything of this. It's planned to release 2024. The art style is sick. Like it almost looks like you're fighting hordes of like StarCraft enemies, like alien bugs. Which I have this toy that I can't find what it's from, but they're these like little alien blue bugs and like little alien soldiers, and the bugs are almost like squishy. I need to send you a picture to see if you've ever had them. It's like, I don't think it's Micro Machines, but like these enemies in Kill Knight look like the toy that I had as a kid. Like I'd have like all these like little like space soldiers, and like think like Halo or StarCraft, but like little miniatures that I had. I'll send you a picture after because I don't know what they're from, but they're sick. They kind of look like Micro Machines, but not. But they look very StarCrafty, and that's what this game kind of looks like a Diablo StarCraft in a way.
It's kind of cool.
So I really like it. It's kind of like cyberpunky. It says dance in the abyss and unveil intricate layers of gameplay lurking beneath the surface, exploit enemy weaknesses, enact brutal executions, weave through your arsenal to tactically manage resources, and unleash destructive wrath blast to turn the tide. Every encounter is a testament to your mastery. So yeah, this looks dope. Not in early access, comes out in 2024. And then, before we get to the funny one, Shadows of Doubt is a cool stealth game, simulated sci-fi, Noir City. I think this one's already in early access, and I think it's getting really good reviews. It kind of looks like Minecraft-y in its art style. Not a game that I would typically play, but it looks really cool. Really cool aesthetic and atmosphere. I believe that these are the people that did Cloudpunk. If not, I think it's the publisher of Cloudpunk, which is another voxel-based. Maybe I'm making that up. Don't quote me, but it looks like they do publish Core Keeper. So call back to that. They also publish Gestalt, which is another game that we'll be talking about. So yeah, Shadows of Doubt. And now the really funny one is Dino Lords. So it's like it's got a wild art aesthetic. Like it kind of
is it like Age of Empires? Like
yeah, it's like it kind of looks Age of Empires-y, but then it also has these like massive dinosaurs, and like I don't know how to, it's like almost like Clash of Clans meets like I don't know, it's just got a lot going on, but it looks sick. Like it kind of even looks like there's a Diablo style like health meter, but not like a magic. Ghost Ship Games is publishing it, and they publish Deep Rock Galactic, which a lot of people like. So if you're familiar with that title, published by the same people, North Play is the developer. I haven't seen any of their previous games, but yeah, this looks like a silly kind of game. It says Dino Lords is a real-time strategy game where you gather resources, build fortifications, and command units in defense against the invading Danes with their arsenal of fierce dinosaurs. A shocking new age in medieval warfare.
What's your opinion of dinosaur games, like even like Ark or something like that? What do you think about the dinosaur genre?
I loved dinosaurs as a kid. I loved Jurassic Park. The one that did make me want to play it was, I think, the Jurassic Park like roller coaster tycoon style game. I've been meaning to try that one day, but like Dino Crisis I never really played. I'm not opposed to it. There was another like dinosaur first person shooter that was like in 2019 or 2020, and I think it got canceled, but that one did look cool to me. But yeah, like my thing is like, if you're gonna do dinosaurs, I kind of want weird dinosaurs. Like I kind of want just aliens and monsters. Like I think what I've been learning is I could be hooked into any kind of monster if there's a cool bestiary and I like the design and I like the art. I feel like you can make dinosaurs cool, and I would like it, but it's all about the art style and the aesthetic, you know, like how it's executed for me personally.
I'm the same as you. Like I do love Jurassic Park. Grew up loving dinosaurs too. Who doesn't like a good dinosaur? It's like real life dragon, you know? So, but I think it could easily get kind of cheesy or just like memey, a little funny. And it totally depends on the game. Have you seen some of the gameplay of this new dinosaur game in the works of, I'm imagining like a raptor or a T-Rex with the sword in its mouth, and it's like fighting. Have you seen that? Have you seen that? Oh, it's like a real like Unreal Engine 5 dinosaur, high quality model, and it has like an Elden Ring greatsword in its mouth, and it's just slaying like other dinosaurs. It's crazy.
That sounds terrifying.
Dinosaurs Souls-like.
Yeah. I saw a video of a squirrel with like a pocket knife, and Mo is terrified of squirrels. And like the squirrel was, yeah. And then my other friend told me that a squirrel attacked her and went in her hair. So that raptor with the sword gives me this squirrel with the pocket knife vibe. So you never know if it's possible or not. Like
you don't know.
There's some realism to it.
Yeah, but apparently people love dinosaurs, so we will always see those games. And then I've also been seeing like more like of a dragon kind of game too, where you train and grow your own dragon kind of thing. So I think there's a market for these dinosaurs and dragons and stuff. So I'm interested in seeing how this one turns out, because if it's fun, it's always good to add another game to your library that's just silly and fun and lighthearted, because you know us, we love playing like those dark and gritty games anyway, so it's a nice break. But interesting.
Yeah, no, totally. Gestalt, Steam and Cinder. Steam and Cinder. I played the demo of this, and it's pretty cool. I'm curious to see if it's more of an RPG or more of like a Mega Man kind of game where it's like 2D and like there's power and upgrades, or like a Metroidvania. I still don't quite have enough of a grip to understand the depth of the mechanics, but the art style is really cool. The demo doesn't have voice acting. I think that could push it over the edge for me. I don't always need voice acting, but when there's a lot of text, sometimes it could be difficult. However, I could also be like convinced, because I would say Chained Echoes. I don't think Chained Echoes has voice acting, and I loved that game, and I really want to get back to that game. So, not a deal breaker, but the art style is cool. The music is really good on this game. So I was even thinking about trying to track down the composer and ask them about it. But yeah, that's just dope. And then in that same composer vein, Flintlock, Siege of Dawn, they didn't really say too much about it. It says, join humanity's last stand as gods and guns collide in an all-new action RPG. But they had the composer talking about the sound, and the sound does sound really cool. And the music does sound really interesting. So that was another composer that I thought would be cool to reach out to. So maybe even as we do Tactically Sound, maybe we try to have like a segment where we do an interview with like a composer of like a new indie game, and like we kind of bake that into the podcast where it's like first half is like news story, and then second half is like we get a composer who's working on
so
one of these
awesome
games.
I would love that.
Yeah. Because Matt and I are both musicians, and music is a big, I really have to put on like my like music hat more when I play games, because growing up it would like seep into me and like become a part of me, but I would be so focused on the game that I wouldn't really pay too much attention, ironically. And as I've gotten older, and started to meet more composers, I'm like, I really try to listen deeper. But that's the one thing I really appreciate about the games industry is the audience, I think, intently listens to the songs, where they'll be like, oh, I love this track, and they'll name the track. And I'm like, I was not that type of player growing up. Like, I would listen to the Time Splitters 2 soundtrack. I loved it, but I wouldn't be able to name you the song title. So I kind of want this podcast and the channel to be a way to slowly go back and try to change that habit where like I want to be able to name the song, name the composer, like tell you guys more about how the music was made. But moving on, this game has me hyped, and Matt, you have to look up.
No, dude, I already. This is the one. This is the one that I noticed. I was brushing my teeth watching this too, and like a lot of them, I didn't get or skipped over, but this one caught my eye, bro. Tell us about it. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so these guys made Moonlighters, which I really enjoyed, although it's very difficult. I would say it's like almost like a Zelda-like difficulty, which I was talking to a friend, and he was like, you think Zelda games are hard? I'm like, yeah, I didn't grow up with Zelda. Like, that's not how my brain thinks. So I'm excited that this game doesn't look like that. It looks like the game of Matt and I's dreams, like a 3D kingdom is kind of what my brain is saying. If you guys are the developers and hearing this and that's not what it is, I apologize. But that's what my brain went to. Is like, dude, this looks sick. They say design fortresses, optimize production in the Citadel, train and deploy a wide range of troops, and make impactful tactical decisions. There's a demo, so I'll try this demo this week and report back to you guys.
I should too. That's awesome.
Yeah. There's also a Discord, so I'll join the Discord. Architect by day, commander by night. That is me and Matt to a T. If you could market a game to us,
yes.
Architect by day, commander by night.
Yes, yes.
You'll need to gather up resources and use Lego-inspired mechanics to build your stronghold and tactical layouts. Weather traps and troop placement in mind. When night falls, the hordes will arrive to try and tear everything down with a realistic physics system. So maybe it's not so much Kingdom. Maybe it's a little bit more Minecraft. So yeah, we'll have to try this and see, because I'm a terrible builder of Lego style games, but this art style, it looks so sick that I might just have to learn and really put my mind to the test, because it looks so awesome.
I'm with you. It looks awesome.
I love the art style too. So that's Cataclysmo. I'm going to go quicker through these other ones. End Zone 2 is a settlement, kind of like Pioneer, but like post-apocalyptic game. And then Norland is a colony sim. It reminds me of those games that are inspired by Dwarf Fortress. And then Broken Roads is a Fallout-style post-apocalyptic CRPG based in Australia. And it looks like it has a little bit of Disco Elysium inspiration. Raven's Watch, I wrote down that it reminds me of Torchlight. Hyperlight Breaker is a sequel to Hyperlight Drifter, which I never played. And then Lasaria Summit Kingdom looked like a really pretty city builder that kind of looks peaceful. I could kind of see Mo playing this. So keep an eye on that one if you like city builders, but you're like on a mountain and then like snow will fall off the mountain and freeze the village and stuff. And then 33 Immortals reminds me of Castlevania. It kind of looks like Hades. It's a really cool art style, and I think it's a multiplayer game. It is coming to Game Pass, so I'll definitely play that one. It's by the devs of Spiritfarer. So if you like Spiritfarer,
interesting.
Totally different game, but it looks like same quality. And then Mouse, which looks sick. Definitely got to play this one because another portion of the audience on this channel is Doom-style boomer shooters, and I thought this was a really cool take on a boomer shooter. Did you see the trailer for this one?
I did. I saw it, and this is something I don't know if I would like love and want to play the whole thing, but like I appreciate the work being done so much on a creative, from a creative aspect and a creator side of things. It's so interesting. It reminds me of how I felt about Cuphead and playing Cuphead when that came out. How it's so cool to have like a different medium almost with a video game. In this case, it's like that, old style cartoon but black and white versus Cuphead, which is old style cartoon, but maybe like more Snow Whitey, I guess, So totally. I'm very excited to just see it from an aesthetic.
Yeah. It's like Toontown kind of vibes.
Yes.
Like if you've ever been to Disneyland, like that vibe.
Yes.
The last game was the Rogue Prince of Persia, which is sick because it's made by the Dead Cells developers. I love Dead Cells. And yeah, I think this looks cool. I definitely think I will play this one. I really like these types of games, especially when there's a unique hand-drawn art aesthetic. But that was the Triple I, what did they call it? The Triple I Interactive event. And I thought it was really cool. I hope they do more. I really love indie games, so I want to see them shine. Before we go, though, I have to mention there's a Dredge TV show in the works.
What? Are you serious,
yes,
Spencer?
So let me look this up. News. Dredge TV show. Dredge has potential to be the great nautical horror. So, yeah, Story Kitchen. I believe they're also doing a Vampire Survivors animation thing. So, I just wanted to shout that out.
That's cool.
Yeah. So check out Dredge the game, and we'll report more news. But we wanted to keep this episode brief, so Matt and I have enough time to hopefully check out the Fallout TV show tonight in a couple hours on the West Coast. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to Tactically Sound. Follow Matt Gorgas on Jumbly Jump.
Thank you.
Yes.
Jumbly Jump.
And if you're not subscribed to the Yeti Den, subscribe. We try to post weekly. We had a technical mishap last week, so we're usually here weekly, and we're playing with the idea of doing these kind of more brisk episodes, 30 to 45 minutes, to try and hopefully get our release schedule to where we're shooting on Wednesday and uploading on Thursday, but we'll see, no promises. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you all next time. Later.
Bye. See ya.